Have you ever felt drained, overlooked, or quietly exploited, yet you couldn't explain why? You give effort, loyalty, intelligence, but somehow others always benefit more than you do. Why some people are constantly used, while others are untouchable. And stay with me, because once you understand this, no one will ever use you again. Listen carefully, because this is where most people lose the game before it even begins. Power does not start in the world. It starts inside the individual. The reason people are used, manipulated, drained, and discarded is not because they lack intelligence or talent, but because they lack mastery over themselves. And in the logic of Machiavelli, a man who cannot rule himself will always be ruled by others. From the moment you lose control over your emotions, you hand someone else the keys to your behavior. Anger makes you predictable. Fear makes you obedient. Hope makes you patient in situations where you should be ruthless. Those who understand this do not need to attack you openly. They simply wait. They provoke. They delay. They withhold. And they watch. The instant you react, they learn how to control you. Self-mastery is not about becoming cold or emotionless. It is about deciding when emotions will speak and when they will remain silent. Machiavelli observed that men are moved more by appearances than by truth, and emotional reactions are the loudest appearance of weakness. When you react immediately, you reveal urgency. When you explain yourself, you reveal insecurity. When you seek sympathy, you reveal dependence. Each revelation makes you easier to use. The disciplined individual does something different. He feels everything, yet reveals nothing. He understands that restraint is not passivity, but calculation. Silence forces others to fill the void, and in that void they expose their intentions. While they talk, you observe. While they push, you remain unmoved. And because you do not react, they lose certainty. Uncertainty is poison to manipulators. Self-mastery also means control over desire. People are most usable when they want something desperately: approval, love, status, belonging, or security. Machiavelli understood that need is a chain, and anyone who can satisfy or threaten that need becomes your master. When your happiness depends on external validation, you negotiate from weakness. When your peace depends on outcomes you cannot control, you surrender leverage. The man who practices self-mastery reduces his needs. He is careful with attachments. He does not rush to prove himself, nor does he beg to be chosen. This makes him difficult to manipulate because there is no obvious reward or pressure point. Those who attempt to use him find no emotional handle to grip, no fear to exploit, no craving to promise. Time is another battlefield of self-mastery. The exploitable person is impatient. He wants results now, recognition now, answers now. This urgency makes him compliant. He accepts poor terms just to escape discomfort. The self-mastered individual understands delay as a weapon. He can wait. He can endure silence. He can tolerate uncertainty. And because of this, others adjust to him instead of the other way around. Machiavellian power is built on the ability to remain composed while others unravel. When chaos enters the room, the calm man becomes the center of gravity. People look to him, not because he demands authority, but because he embodies control. Control creates trust, and trust creates influence. This is why those who master themselves are rarely used. They are not reactive tools, they are stable forces. Self-mastery also shapes reputation. When people notice that you do not overreact, do not gossip, do not chase, and do not beg, they treat you differently. They choose their words more carefully around you. They hesitate before making unreasonable demands. They sense, often unconsciously, that you are not easily shaken, and in the language of power, this perception is everything. In Machiavelli's world, the greatest threat was not the strongest enemy, but the unpredictable one. Self-mastery makes you unpredictable. Others cannot anticipate your response, your loyalty, or your limits. This uncertainty protects you. It forces others to negotiate rather than exploit. And over time, they stop trying to use you because every attempt costs them more than it gives. When you rule yourself, you deny others the privilege of ruling you. Understand this clearly. The moment people can predict you, they can control you. Power does not require force when behavior is foreseeable. Machiavelli knew this well, because courts, kingdoms, and alliances collapsed not from strength, but from certainty. When enemies know your habits, your reactions, and your limits, they no longer fear you. They plan around you. Predictable people believe they are being consistent, honest, or reliable. In reality, they are exposing a pattern that others can use. If you always say yes, they will always ask more. If you always forgive, they will never hesitate to betray. If you always react emotionally, they will provoke you deliberately. Predictability transforms personality into a weakness. Those who use others study them quietly. They notice what angers you, what flatters you, what scares you, and what excites you. They learn when you speak and when you stay silent. They memorize your moral limits and push exactly where you will not resist. This is not cruelty, it is strategy. And the predictable individual unknowingly provides the instruction manual. Machiavelli warned that men judge more by the eye than by the hand. What they see repeatedly becomes expectation. When your behavior never changes, expectation becomes certainty, and certainty invites exploitation. The moment someone knows how you will respond, they no longer need to respect you. They only need to trigger you. Unpredictability is not chaos. It is controlled variation. It means refusing to act the same way twice in situations that demand leverage. It means sometimes responding, sometimes withdrawing, sometimes delaying, sometimes remaining silent. The mind that seeks to use you depends on rhythm. Break the rhythm, and their strategy collapses. People assume unpredictability means deception or instability. Machiavelli understood it differently. He saw it as a form of defense. A ruler who always rewards loyalty invites false loyalty. A ruler who always punishes betrayal invites secret betrayal. But a ruler whose responses are measured, irregular, and difficult to read creates caution. Caution is the enemy of exploitation. When you are predictable, people approach you with confidence. They already know the outcome. When you are unpredictable, they hesitate. Hesitation slows manipulation. It forces reconsideration. It creates distance. And distance protects power. Consider how often people expect access to you. They expect you to answer immediately, to explain yourself, to justify decisions, to follow patterns they have grown comfortable with. The moment you disrupt that expectation, tension appears, and that tension reveals who was benefiting from your predictability. Predictability also ties closely to morality. When people know exactly what you will and will not tolerate, they maneuver just below your threshold. They exploit your principles while pretending to respect them. Machiavelli did not reject morality. He rejected moral rigidity. Rigid virtue is easy to exploit. Flexible discipline is not. The unpredictable individual chooses when to be generous and when to be distant. He decides when to be warm and when to be cold. This is not cruelty, it is self-preservation. Those who rely on your consistency for their advantage become uncomfortable when consistency disappears. They begin to self-correct because they no longer feel safe manipulating the outcome. Power shifts the moment people cannot read you. When your silence replaces explanation, when delay replaces urgency, when calm replaces reaction, others lose the ability to script your role. You are no longer a reliable tool in their strategy. You become a variable, and variables are dangerous. Machiavelli believed that fortune favors the adaptable, not the virtuous. Adaptability requires unpredictability. When circumstances change, so must behavior. Those who cling to patterns out of comfort or identity are overtaken by those willing to adjust without apology. When people cannot predict you, they stop using you as a resource and start treating you as a risk. And in the calculus of power, being a risk commands far more respect than being useful. Manipulators do not fear strength, wealth, or intelligence as much as they fear independence. Strength can be challenged, wealth can be negotiated, intelligence can be deceived, but independence removes the foundation upon which control is built. Machiavelli understood that power over others begins with dependency, and when dependency disappears, authority weakens. Most systems of influence rely on need. The need to belong, the need to be approved, the need to be protected, the need to be rewarded. The more a person depends on these things, the easier they are to guide, pressure, and redirect. Independence disrupts this process. It breaks the invisible contracts that manipulators rely on to maintain dominance. An independent individual does not announce his autonomy. He simply demonstrates it through behavior. He does not overcommit. He does not plead for inclusion. He does not fear exclusion. This absence of fear unsettles those who are accustomed to leverage. They sense that the usual tools will not work, and without tools, manipulation becomes risky. Machiavelli observed that those who are content with little are the hardest to govern. When a person can walk away, every negotiation changes. Threats lose power. Promises lose attraction. Pressure loses urgency. Independence shifts the balance silently, without confrontation, without explanation. Manipulators depend on your reaction to loss. They test what happens when attention is withdrawn, when approval is delayed, when access is restricted. The dependent person panics. He compensates. He gives more, explains more, lowers standards. The independent person remains steady. He does not rush to restore what was removed. This alone communicates strength more clearly than words ever could. Independence also means psychological separation. You do not internalize others' expectations as obligations. You understand that disappointment is a tool often used to regain control. When someone expresses dissatisfaction, hoping you will correct yourself, independence allows you to evaluate instead of obey. You decide whether the criticism is useful or manipulative. Machiavelli wrote that men are ungrateful, fickle, and driven by self-interest. Independence accepts this reality without bitterness. It does not expect loyalty where incentives change. It does not confuse temporary alignment with permanent alliance. Because of this clarity, the independent individual is not shocked by betrayal, nor desperate to prevent it at any cost. Those who cannot be used are often misunderstood. They are labeled distant, arrogant, or uncooperative. In truth, they are simply not available for exploitation. They choose their engagements carefully. They reserve energy. They understand that constant accessibility is not generosity, it is vulnerability. Manipulators thrive on proximity and constant access. They need frequent interaction to adjust pressure and reinforce control. Independence limits access. Not dramatically, not aggressively, but consistently. You are present when it serves your purpose and absent when it does not. This unpredictability destabilizes those who rely on constant influence. Machiavelli valued alliances that were chosen, not forced. Independence ensures that any cooperation you offer is voluntary. Voluntary cooperation commands respect because it can be withdrawn. Those who know you are choosing to engage treat you differently from those who believe you have no alternative. The independent person does not advertise options, he simply has them. This quiet abundance of choice changes posture. tone, and decision-making. Others sense it immediately. They recognize that pressure will fail, guilt will fail, urgency will fail. Without these tools, manipulation loses efficiency. True independence is not isolation. It is freedom from emotional captivity. You may collaborate, support, and contribute, but you do so without surrendering autonomy. This balance is rare, and rarity creates value. Those who cannot trap you in obligation must negotiate with you instead. In Machiavellian terms, the man who needs nothing essential becomes ungovernable. And what cannot be governed cannot be used. Detachment is often misunderstood as coldness or indifference, but in the language of power, detachment is clarity. It is the ability to step back emotionally while remaining fully aware. Machiavelli understood that those who become entangled in feelings lose the ability to judge situations accurately. When emotion clouds perception, manipulation becomes effortless. The attached individual interprets actions personally. Every silence feels like rejection. Every delay feels like disrespect. Every disagreement feels like betrayal. This sensitivity creates openings. Manipulators do not need to invent conflict. They only need to withdraw slightly and watch anxiety do the rest. Detachment removes this vulnerability by breaking the automatic link between external events and internal turmoil. Detachment allows you to observe human behavior without immediately reacting to it. You notice patterns, inconsistencies, and intentions instead of defending your ego. This observational advantage is immense. While others are busy managing their feelings, you are collecting information. And information in Machiavelli's world is power. When you are detached, you do not rush to correct misunderstandings. You allow people to reveal what they truly think by what they continue to do. Words lose importance. Actions become the primary evidence. Those who wish to use you rely on your eagerness to clarify, explain, and restore harmony. Detachment denies them this cooperation. Machiavelli recognized that hope and fear are the strongest instruments of control. Attachment fuels both. Hope ties you to outcomes you do not control. Fear ties you to losses you have not yet suffered. Detachment weakens these chains. You still act, but you are not enslaved by anticipation or dread. This makes you difficult to steer. Detachment also protects you from flattery. Praise is most effective on those who crave it. When you are detached, compliments register without altering behavior. Approval no longer dictates your decisions. Those who attempt to manipulate through admiration quickly realize it yields no return. One of the most powerful aspects of detachment is the ability to let things fail. Attached individuals fight desperately to preserve every relationship, every opportunity, every image. This desperation invites exploitation, and detachment allows you to walk away from situations that no longer serve you, even if effort has already been invested. Machiavelli understood that clinging to lost causes weakens rulers more than defeat itself. Detachment does not mean you do not care. It means you care selectively and strategically. You choose where emotional investment is justified. You do not distribute loyalty blindly. This selectivity increases your value because your commitment is no longer guaranteed. People respect what they cannot easily obtain. Those who lack detachment often reveal their breaking point. Manipulators watch for this moment. They apply pressure just below the threshold, knowing you will bend to avoid discomfort. Detachment raises the threshold. You can endure silence, tension, and uncertainty without rushing to resolve them. This endurance shifts control in subtle but decisive ways. Machiavelli advised rulers to appear compassionate while remaining internally firm. Detachment makes this possible. You can listen without absorbing. You can empathize without surrendering judgment. You can engage without entanglement. This balance confuses those who expect emotional reciprocity as a means of influence. Detachment also sharpens timing. When you are not emotionally invested in immediate outcomes, you can wait for advantageous moments. Impulsive action fades. Strategic patience emerges. Others mistake your calm for passivity until they realize you are simply choosing when to move. People attempt to use those who are emotionally accessible at all times. Detachment introduces distance. Distance creates uncertainty. Uncertainty creates caution. And caution interrupts exploitation. In Machiavellian terms, detachment is not the absence of feeling, but the mastery of it, and those who master distance control the game without ever appearing to play. Now you see the pattern clearly. People are not used because they are weak, but because they are available emotionally, mentally, and strategically. The world does not exploit at random. It exploits what is open, predictable, dependent, and attached. Machiavelli never promised fairness. He revealed reality. When you master yourself, you remove emotional leverage. When you break predictability, you destroy manipulation. When you cultivate independence, you collapse control. When you practice detachment, you become untouchable. These are not techniques meant to impress others. They are internal shifts that quietly change how others behave around you. No announcements, no confrontations, just a gradual realization on their part that you are no longer easy to move pressure or command. Power does not always announce itself with force. Often, it arrives as calm, as restraint, as the refusal to react the way you are expected to. And once people sense this, they adjust. Their demands soften. Their manipulation slows. Their confidence in using you disappears. Machiavelli understood one enduring truth. The man who controls his inner world shapes his outer world. When you stop chasing approval, others chase alignment. When you stop fearing loss, others fear missteps. When you stop offering yourself freely, your presence gains weight. This is why they cannot use you. Not because you resist loudly, but because there is nothing left to grip.